Yeah.
So listen to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I am your host, Mike Luke, joined by the great Jason Shear. Ted Wardo is right at my feet as well. Hello, everybody. Hello, Jason Shear. How are you doing today?
Splendid, Michael. How are you?
All right. That's what we like about sports here, Shear. Things are drastically different than they were at this time last week. This is fair to say.
Yes, it is.
Now, this is very true. Okay. Yeah. Now, let's talk about a few things first. Why don't we get to the, there's been some, I think there's been some confusion. Well, not confusion, basically the entire city against one person on who was calling plays against Utah. Let's, why don't we hear from Brent Brennan to maybe clarify some of this?
It seemed like maybe there were some, different types of play calls. I mean, how did you guys go about the play calling duties on Saturday?
Yeah, so I know that's a hot topic. When we first brought Coach Babers in here, from the beginning, the intent was for him to really help the young coaches grow and develop. And he's been doing a fantastic job with the offensive staff. And watching that over time, we felt like going into the bye week was the right time for Coach Atkins to, with the help of Dino, to kind of step into that role. And, with the game against Utah, we felt like it was a strategic advantage for us to not disclose that before. And so that was how we approached it. And, Coach Babers he was on board with this. He's been great about it. We've had a lot of conversations about it. And he's incredibly supportive of Matt and the staff, and everyone's working really well together. And Coach Babers is such an important part of what we're doing here, and I really, really value his contribution to our offense, to the players, to the coaching, and to the mentorship he's providing for our young coaches.
Well, there you have it. Matt Atkins was calling the plays against Utah. I don't know. It's not any easier than that, Jason Shear. That should clarify any confusions that maybe the 1% does have.
Yeah, and I also went to the coaching show last night, and Brian Jeffrey straight up asked him about it. And he said basically the same thing, and actually went into a little bit more detail that they felt during the bye week this was the move to make. And so Matt Atkins is calling plays, and he's formulating the game plan. And I think Babers is basically, he has input on the game plan. That's his job right now.
That's his job right there. And you know what? I got to give Brent Brennan, like we talked about, and we're going to talk about this all week. Got to give Brent Brennan a lot of credit. I think Brent Brennan is being very nice. I think that he's allowing some face saving to go on there. Because I don't believe that this was the plan after 3 games, but Brent Brennan is a good dude. Also, we have to talk a little bit about Leif really quickly. Leif was not done dirty at all. Leif would be a starter. He is one of the 2 best guards on the team, or 2 or 3 best guards on the team. This is nothing to do with the coaching staff whatsoever.
If anything, it's been the opposite. I think people can figure out what's going on here. Very similar to what was going on before. The staff would love to see Leif back on the field as long as Leif's body allows him to be on the field. How about that?
Yeah, but again, this is all. Everything is capiche a term? Everything is capiche with the.
Yep, capiche means understand.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I think that's more than fair. Now it's time to talk about, is it time to recalibrate expectations now? I think it is. It's very this simple. No, not at all a similar situation to Polito with Leif. Not at all.
No,
literally nothing. Yeah. Plus Quinn is cool. So take that for what it's worth. But let's talk now a little bit about expectations. I'm just going to say it at this point. I don't know what else to say, Sheer. You went into the team that was favored to win the conference, and you kind of knocked the snot out of them. I don't know why. Conference championship can't be the expectation at this point.
Yeah, it was funny. I was just talking to someone on another podcast, and they were like, "Reminder: Kansas State was not a conference game."
Yep.
So Arizona just had, I think. It's probably between at Kansas State and at Utah for the toughest game in the conference, right? Utah is a team that won 33 of 35 games at home. You don't go to Utah and beat Utah on a Saturday night. Right. There is no game left on the schedule that is more difficult than that game. Right now, there's probably people viewing Arizona as having won a fluky game against Utah. It has to go out and beat Texas Tech. It has to.
That is exactly what it is, because that would be the most Arizona thing ever to get this massive win against Utah and then go lay an egg against Texas Tech. I agree with Joseph. Joseph says respectfully, by the way, he calls you Skier each time, which is great. Everybody call him Skier. Don't call him Sheer. It's not Sheer, it's Skier. Joseph says, respectfully, I need to see us beat Tech before we ratchet up the expectations to where they were. I think that's fair. I think that's more than fair.
Absolutely. That's where I'm at. And if Arizona beats Tech, let's start having those conversations.
And I don't care how they beat him with Tech. A win is a win with that one. Tech's good. If they win 13-12, I don't care. That's
13-12. That'll be the most. That is not what anyone would have predicted.
No, nobody would predict. But you know what? If we're sitting here talking about a 13-12 victory, we are going to take it. We make no apologies for victories here. Dubs, dubs, dubs.
You're right, though. The most Arizona thing ever would be like Arizona loses to Texas Tech. Everyone's pissed off, and then they go to BYU and beat BYU. Like that would be just very Arizona.
All right. Now, Mario Mesa, the great Mario Mesa, very good follow on Twitter, by the way. Texas Tech QB is pretty inconsistent. If the same defense that played against Utah shows up against TT, we win by 10 plus. Here's what I agree with some of that, but here's where I'm going to differ a little bit, though. And Mario's the man, very much like Mario. Texas Tech, though, when they are hitting on all cylinders, is very, very good. Somebody that played them told me before, he said that offense is as talented as any offense in the conference. And when you watch them, when they are on all cylinders, they're tough.
I think that's the best coached offense in the league.
Right.
I really do. It's their RPO game is fantastic. Everyone assumes they're air raid. They're not. They have Taj Brooks. He's a freak. And they'll give him the ball 40 times a game. The only reason Texas Tech isn't better is because your offense doesn't travel every game.
Right.
But their defense never travels. Like, their defense isn't good because they lost their two best pass rushers. They don't even try to rush the passer. If Arizona's offense is executing, they're going to score a lot of points. You have to execute. But like ASU, the same person that we talked to, someone close to him, told me that the ASU's offense just didn't execute. For whatever reason, the blocking was not good. If they had blocked a little better, ASU wins that game.
Yes, that's kind of where it's at. Texas Tech is tough, but it's a 4. I think 6 points. Wilbur Big Burner says Mike Skier. You know what's funny? I still get a message from somebody once a week asking why I call you Skier. At some point, we're gonna have an entire segment on this, but it's still
told people.
No, yeah, but it's still too soon. I don't want to get into it. It's still, the wounds are still
I'm saying you on the show. You've told people before.
All right. Well, there was somebody high up in the athletic department that did not like Sheer. And no names. We do not mention.
You like each other now, though.
What's that? You like each other now?
Correct. That bridge, right?
Yes, it's true. Yeah. You are capiche.
Yeah, we're capache.
Okay, but he would always say, he's like, yeah, I just saw what Jason Skier was saying about me, and so after a while, it just kind of ran and it became Skier. So it is Skier now. I actually like Skier. Skelby Skier could be your wife's name.
No.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let's get back to the offense, though. This is also a game where I got to see continued improvement. You certainly saw, and let me ask you this, and we talked about this yesterday, but it's this one I still don't get. People. And there's a lot of people that are smarter than me saying this. Well, they're not smarter than me on this issue, but
no, smarter than you, Michael.
That's true. But one thing that I don't understand is the people that are saying that the improvement was just the improvement was minor. I don't get that.
I think as people just look at the point total, but again, it's what I said. Like, I think people are losing the plot. Utah's good. Scoring 23 points against Utah is pretty damn good. So, it's not like Utah doesn't allow points. I mean, and I know Oklahoma State's not very good, but they went there and didn't allow points. You don't score a lot against Utah.
Yeah, and again, you put up 23.
While you talk, Michael.
What's that?
I'm gonna look up something when you talk.
Okay, you put up 23 points against Utah, and let's be honest here, you left some on the field, which I think that Arizona knows, but you also had 7 points against Kansas State, and I don't know how people don't think that it didn't look significantly different.
So Arizona had 23 points, right?
Yep.
Okay. Highest number Utah gave up this season, and fourth highest last season. One of those was Arizona, the blowouts, but never with, So basically, they only let up more than 23 points. And that was two of those were when everyone was injured, like the whole defense was injured. Like They don't give up points.
Right. So I thought it was significantly better. Now let's talk about Noah for a second. I think this is a game against Tech. I need to see 30 plus points. I need to see in the high 30s, to be honest with you. Listen, I think it's much better. Oh, hit the like button, by the way. I think it's much better for Arizona to, you got things rolling. Now this is the game. You're going against a defense that's not very good. This needs to be, a team that doesn't just score when they have to, that should be able to impose its will. Against Texas Tech, I need high 30s, man. I'm just saying, I need high 30s.
I need high 30s. One, and I think they're going to need it. I mean, and that's not even disrespect to Arizona's defense. It's more respect to Texas Tech's offense.
Right.
This is a game where I said like 24 was the magic number. I think 35 is the magic number here.
30.
I think if Arizona scores 35 points, they should win this ball game. I think T-Mac goes off. I don't. Because the thing about
T-Mac and the body language, a lot of people are concerned about that.
No. Here's the reason why. I think if T-Mac played a different position, I might be concerned. But find me a wide receiver that's not a little bit of a diva. That's just what they are. They want the ball. Like we watched the Dolphins game, which was one of the worst football games I've ever seen last night. And Tyreek Hill's just screaming at everybody on the sideline. That's what receivers do.
Right.
Like Travis Hunter, great receiver. He screams at Shador when you watch those games. Like they yell at each other. I don't mind it at all.
Plus, we know T-Mac's a good kid.
Yeah. Like he's not a jerk. But like Texas Tech doesn't pressure.
Right.
They stunt a little bit. Once in a while, they'll press. What they do is they drop a defensive lineman into coverage, which can be confusing at times. But if Arizona blocks and Noah reads this defense, he should have his biggest game of the year by far. This game, a lot of it is on Noah. If Noah makes the right reads, he's going to have one of the best games of his career. I really think so.
All right, now let's talk about something else that I think is going to help him a lot. Do we assume that Les Fifita has Empire flooring?
I mean, Les is the best and Empire's the best. Why not?
Yes. I think with Les Fifita, I think it goes without saying. By the way, we got to show this picture of Les. You saw that picture of him when he was at the Utah game?
Dude, how good is that video where he starts turning to everyone and like dapping them up?
For some reason, we can't play the video, but I like the video. The video is fantastic. We'll get to that in just a second. But schedule a free in-home estimate with Empire Flooring as well. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/PHNX for details. Sheer, at some point, you need to get Empire Flooring.
Yeah, you're right. I actually do need to fix up some of my tiles. I need to call them for real.
All right. Now, Ted Wardo was busy wiping himself on the on my floor earlier, which means that I might just, instead of cleaning it, I might just get Empire Flooring. Check it out, Empire Flooring. Ted Wardo is saying that he wants Empire Flooring as well. Also, you might say, man, I just heard about Ted Wardo. Ted Wardo sounds really cool. You know what else Ted Wardo would look really good in? A Sanderson Ford. That is the deal with this. Listen, here, Ted Wardo is right at my feet. We will put him on in just a second. He wants to be on. But Ted Wardo in a Sanderson Ford is like Pac and Snoop back in 96. These are things that just go together. It makes a lot of sense. And Sheer, you would agree with this. This is true.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can get more masculine than Ted Wardo in a Sanderson Ford. Like the amount of testosterone is, I mean, look at this. My God, there's men and then there's Ted Wardo.
Look at this. This is just something too. So Ted Wardo and a Sanderson Ford, the way that he cruises around, look at this thing. I mean, yeah, hide the women and children. So get deals on the 2024 Ford Bronco Sport for 5.9 APR for 66 months plus $2,000, but must be used Ford OAC. Also, you might say the name Ted Wardo. That sounds Hispanic. It is. Check out also help us celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with a Dia de los Muertos inspired trunk or treat at Sanderson Ford. See dealership for details. Ted Wardo signs off on this. Look at this. This is amazing.
Look at him. I mean, there's only so much man that I can handle.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. All right.
Similar to Ben One White, there's only so much men we can handle.
All right. Let me put Ted Wardo down. Okay. Now, so again, this is a game though. Mr. Kevin Thomas, if we could maybe put up that picture though, at least of Les Fifita, that would be great. This was after Noah threw the touchdown to Kean Burnett, and he's dabbing everybody up.
We don't even have that one, Mike. We don't have that one today.
What's that?
We don't have that one today.
Oh, okay. All right.
Unfortunately. Sorry, chat.
It was a really cool picture. He also looked.
There's a video by, I think it was his aunt that tweeted it. Yeah. I retweeted it a couple days ago. I'll find it. But it was very cool.
It's very cool. Also, Jara Alexander, Portland Timbers announced he's done for the season. Yep.
Yeah, we knew that. But did he announce on Portland? Did he announce on Instagram or Twitter?
Yeah, exactly. All right. But either way, that's somebody that I think we could look at in the future and say that there's some
needs torn up. So, I mean, it was just a matter of time.
Right. Yes. Okay. Now, let's talk now. No. Now we need to talk about what?
Stress fracture in his shin. It wasn't his knee.
Ooh. That sounds terrible.
Oh man, that's gotta hurt. He's got like can you see the picture?
No, put it up.
So you probably can't see it, but yeah, there's like a huge
yes. Yeah, so I would not either way, I would expect also some red shirt news to be coming out throughout the day.
Yeah, if you notice throughout the country, Mike, that started this morning with guys that are just redshirting or entering, because grad transfers, you can enter the portal now.
Right.
Like our boy Anthony Simpson entered the portal. Should he come back?
Yeah, I would take him back. I would
100% take him back. Yeah, he entered the portal. Yeah.
Yeah, we should work on that. Okay, now let's talk about we got some breakout performers that we need to talk about here. First, why don't we get to the Deuce Boost? Alexander Deuced. This is going to be your guard for the rest of the season. He is really, really good. He's a massive individual. He's probably the biggest person one of the biggest people you'll ever see. He had 6'7", 330. Listen, he is not a tackle. He is terrible at tackle. His feet just aren't big enough, or no, they're not big enough. They're not quick enough. I'm sure they're big enough, but also at guard though, this dude is a mauler. This guy was meant to play guard. He and Wendell Moy. Yes, please sign me up for 2. In my opinion, there were 3 guards that were clearly better than everybody else on this roster at this point. A healthy Leif, Alexander Deuce, and Wendell Moy. Those are your 3. Stewart, I give credit to. You need guys like Stewart, but these are guys that are significantly better.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a difference between a starting lineman and like a rotational guy. It was like when, Borhone, you didn't want, to start, but you didn't mind him coming in for a few reps at tackle or guard or whatever it was to injury or whatever. You need that guy, and that guy should be Stewart for Arizona. I was surprised by Deuce, and we liked him during camp. But it's not easy to basically get your first career start at Utah and look as good as he did.
Right.
Like that is something that we're probably not talking. Like it wasn't just like a decent game. Like he very much solidified himself at that. And this will be the first time all season that Arizona has the same starting offensive line in consecutive games. That's a big deal.
I think you also need to look, when we're talking about the O-line, I think you also need to look kind of to the future a little bit. And what I really like, too, that you're starting to see some guys that you can tell are going to be big parts of this team going forward. Rhino, obviously, we know that. Deuced is going to be that dude. Assume Wendell Moy is back next year. That's a nice little. Now listen, you're going to lose Big Jonah, but that's a nice little trio right there to be able to work with. Now, one thing that they are going to, and I have this on good authority, that the top priority this entire offseason will be the center position. They are going to look to bring in multiple centers. This is something where I think you don't know how good Josh Baker is until Josh Baker's not out on the field. But I say that just because I think you've already got your tackle. You got 2 guards. You need to get another tackle, obviously, hopefully, and then you got to get that center.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. And no disrespect to Grayson Stovall. I just think that you can't look at what Stovall did against NAU and be like, yep, this is my guy next season. Right. And, maybe he improves or whatever it may be, but you have to get a guy anyway. Because, who's even your backup? Your backup, Capra's out of eligibility.
Right.
Shenko is clearly just not good enough.
Right.
So you can't just have one.
Multiple guys. Multiple.
Yeah, I think you have to get 2 centers at least.
Right.
And maybe even some cross training where if it doesn't work out at center for one guy, you move on, whatever. It's
all right. Now, Kevin WN says, no, should we automatically assume the red shirts aside from freshmen or with the intent to transfer? No. That's simple. No.
Correct.
Now, I'm sure there's some, but no. So we'll probably be talking more about this. We will be talking more about this.
Yeah, Jara's redshirting his injury.
Right.
He's not going to transfer. A couple other guys I know that are going to announce it on their own, and the coaches wanted to announce it on their own. Now, is that saying that who knows if someone on the offseason offers a guy a stupid amount of money, they'll change their mind? Sure, that's a possibility. But I would say the majority of these guys are entering with the expectation of returning to Arizona.
Yes, that's exactly what I've heard as well. Sheer, every now and then we hear something that's right, and when we hear it's right, we will put. Now, Pacifico Light says, do we expect a lot of transfers after the season? Every year you're going to expect a lot of transfers. That's just the way it is.
I just, with the transfer portal, I would expect in a new coaching staff, I would think if you didn't play this year, I'm just throwing out a name like Dorian Thomas. I would assume Dorian Thomas, based on comments and not traveling and stuff, is going to transfer. I think that's safe to say. I think
let's talk about
a guy like Brandon Johnson at running back. You would assume if he can't play, this season, he's not. You know what I mean? Those are the guys you look at.
I want to be clear here, though. There are yes, I agree with you 90% of the time, but there are some guys that are a few exceptions. If you're at a loaded position, for example, and without. That's all. I'll just go with that. But with Dorian Thomas, let's talk about that for a second.
That one hurt me because I like the family. I do. The mom's great.
The mom's great. I like him. They bash Jed a ton. That always.
But if you missed it, the mom tweeted a picture of Dorian on an Alabama visit, and then during the actual game, because Dorian didn't travel, he was like, "Just give me a chance," while he's watching Burnett go off and Arizona beat Utah on the road. He deleted the tweet, but man, that's just a bad look.
It's a really bad look. It's a really bad look. And what's also, I think it makes it even kind of compounds it. Both. Could you compile and compound?
I'll do it all, baby.
Yeah, no, exactly. Ben One White's mantra. But with the tight ends, though, with Kean Burnett, this is a guy that, and again, I think we need to. Why don't we throw the graphic up there, Mr. Kevin Thomas, when we get a chance? But about Kean Burnett, this is why I think you got to be careful on what you say, because look at this guy. This guy comes from NFL lineage. He was a high 4-star kid coming out of high school. He was committed to USC. He didn't get any burn his first 2 years. He clearly wasn't used right in the first 3 games. That was corrected when Matt Adkins came in, obviously, and he never said a peep. The family never said a peep. When you go on there and you start saying stuff, especially when you see your homie in front of you balling out, it's just a bad look, man.
You don't have to put everything on Twitter. You just don't, right? You could think, man, this sucks. I should be out there. Cool. All right. Keep it to yourself. Call your family members. Text your friends.
Text me. I'm here for you. I talk with parents
that when your team is winning on the road is just,
yeah.
Big picture. Let's look at big picture.
I have 4 parents that I talk with on a weekly basis. More than you.
Me?
Oh,
you mean basically Shelby and I are parents as well.
Yeah, that is true. This is true. And Ted Wardo is well, I'm Ted Wardo's father.
Yeah, Shelby texted you about your disability to help you out this morning.
Yeah, no, it is. But by the way, so I guess ADHD, I'm covered. So that's I'll get into that. I don't want to get in trouble here, but I'm covered on that one. Also, I don't look for Noah Fifita to go to Utah because Cam Rising is going to be back for another year. He is.
No, it's not going. No, that wouldn't be the school. I think if Noah left Arizona, and in no way, shape, or form, I think it would be like a Bama, right? Like a Georgia, a Bama, a place like that where it's like the top of the top. He's not leaving for like Utah.
Exactly. No, I do not see that one as well.
I'm not saying he's leaving, by the way. I'm just saying like top of the top. There's just no point for a guy like him.
Who's Trevor? T-Burns 826. Trevor, Manu, and Burnett will still be here. Who's Trevor?
Trevor. You don't know Trevor?
No, who's Trevor?
I have no idea.
All right. Well, man, look at T-Burns 826. T-Burns 826 is so connected.
You know Lil Trev.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Lil Trev. That's right. He's throwing names out that we won't, that I don't even know about on the team. That's it's impressive stuff. Yeah. Now, you might say to yourself, Mike, don't you have something that you might want to talk about? Maybe an ad or something before then? And we do. Oh my gosh. And this is a perfect segue into Circle K. No, look at this. Look at this underbite right here. Oh my gosh. Look at those teeth. That you could take that dog into Circle K and get a job because it is so cute. And Circle K, well, I don't know if they would hire him or not, but Sheer, Circle K is this pooch part of the inner circle.
Absolutely. Cammy, as soon as we got him, the first thing we did was put him in the inner circle. Now that he's in there, he's just so much happier.
Yes, he is. Yeah. You can tell it. Look at it. Looks like a burden's been lifted off of his underbite. And I don't really know what else to say other than the fact that this dog is clearly part of the inner circle. Check it out. Sure. When did enjoy your membership exclusive? Cammy can enjoy the membership only exclusive deal. Inner circle members like you can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. Sure, you did a very, very good job. Also, June Thomas, the great June Thomas. We have 118 lives. We only have 23 likes. People, come on. You got to help me out here. You got to remember this.
Just know this. You may not want to listen to Mike, but if you don't hit the like button, you're letting down June Thomas. And how can you live with yourself if you do that?
For sure. And you know what else you're letting down too? Chicken and pickle.
Yes.
With chicken and pickle, listen, you might say to yourself, chicken and pickle, wasn't there something with Jacob Franklin? Yes. Chicken and pickle is so cool that Jacob Franklin basically invited us. Then when he found out that people were going to be there, he uninvited us. That is literally what happened. It was not cool. Chicken and pickle. Head to chickenandpickle.com to see all the fun you can have at their Glendale location. We assume that we should ask the Tommy gun at one of his pressers if he's been to Chicken and Pickle.
Yeah, I think that'll be the first question right after Red and Blue. Not like, how did it go? Be like, hey, are you thinking of going to Chicken and Pickle this weekend?
Yeah, no, I would very much like to see what he has to say about Chicken and Pickle. But we also assume that June Thomas, when she comes down to Arizona for the Arizona ASU game, maybe go to Chicken and Pickle with the prodigious Kevin Thomas as well. Chicken and Pickle. Check it out. Chicken and Pickle. All right, now, we talked about some breakout guys, and generally, well, listen, Sheer was right about Montana Lamonius Craig, which is still one of the best calls I've ever seen. A guy that literally never catches passes or gets yards, gets 6 for 70. Now, this past game, Emmanuel Carnley obviously had a massive game. We're going to talk about Emmanuel Carnley in just a second, but Sheer, do you have any, for the Texas Tech game, do you have a new breakout performer by any chance?
Mike, I have a new one, but an old one. And this might be the last time I do this all year if it doesn't happen. I think you know who.
I'm in. I co-sign.
If our guy Jeremiah Patterson can't go and get it done this weekend, I'm becoming a little skeptical.
All right, Jeremiah Patterson, we are both in. This is a group effort. Jeremiah Patterson, we are calling as our breakout performer of the game.
This is it. I called it the other day. This is it for him. If he goes for like 5 yards, I'm going to start to back away a little bit.
But wait a second, though. What if he gets another touchdown?
Oh, well, then it's fine.
Because, again, you said that he had a better game than Dorian Singer.
He did. He won and he had a touchdown.
I mean, clearly, yeah.
He won. I don't understand.
Oh,
that's Dorian Singer if you'd have 150 yards or a win and a touchdown.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin WN says, I mean, he has 2 touchdowns. Isn't that second amongst wide receivers? Are we maybe selling him short a little bit?
Hey, you said it, not me.
Okay. Joseph says, "Oh no, the Patterson agenda continues." We also were on the Burnett agenda though, and look what happened. Now we are floating in the ether.
Wise man once said, "We stand resolute."
Yes, we stand resolute during uncertain times, a beacon of truth and untidy waters.
Yes.
That's where we're at. Listen, Key and Burnett broke out. We broke that. Basically, we broke their fist with our jaw. We are going to do this. We are going to make Jeremiah Patterson do this.
Joseph, you ready? 4 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown.
Oh, hey, T Burns. I like T Burns 826. Patterson, 3 catches, 11 yards, but 2 touchdowns.
Hey, 2 touchdowns. That's breakout. 4 for 54 and a touchdown.
If you're T-Mac, do you start getting a little bit nervous that he's going to become the touchdown leader if you get 2?
Look, I'm not saying T-Mac's nervous, but I'm not saying he's not nervous.
I mean, I'm just saying at some point, yes.
Montana had that 1 catch against Utah. It was a big catch. It was like 3 yards.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. No, Montana basically is going to sit on that game for the rest of his career. That is going to be the game that Montana is going to tell all of his children, his grandchildren about.
That's his NFL draft tape. They're going to be like, "What games did you shot?" Just that one, coach.
Just
that
watch this one. Now,
yeah, put the film in, baby.
Yeah, but I will say this: 2 touchdowns, I'll take it. If he gets 2 touchdowns,
yeah.
I don't care if it's 2 touchdowns for 1 yard. It's a Bo Nix passing performance.
Yeah, who cares?
I will.
All Jeremiah Patterson does is score.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about building though a little bit on this. Now, getting on to the defensive side of the football, was very excited to see. We'll get into Gonzaga here in a second. I was very excited to see our guy Isaiah Johnson step up. I think you're going to see that is going to be a big part. But we also got to talk about Big Stanley out of USC. He was a force, man. I mean, he was an absolute force in that game, and I think he's got to start. That was one of the best defensive line performances we've seen all season. It just looked different. I think we got to do that.
Yeah. And, the depth chart is always funny because he's technically supposed to start every game. But I would assume he starts this game. It'll be him, and then I would give it to Stanley, right?
Right.
But, yeah. We need to see. He played 30-something snaps, and that number sounds good to me.
Yep, I need him, and I need Isaiah Johnson in the high 30s. That's where I'm at. I need both of those guys in the high 30s. Period. Point blank.
Yes.
Okay. Now, oh, by the way, T Burns 826. This is a very good point that I don't think that we've given a lot of credit. T-Mac, 3 games without a touchdown. Clearly, Patterson is Noah's new red zone target. Have we considered that Patterson has caught 2 touchdowns since T-Mac caught his last, and that maybe Patterson has emerged as the red zone target?
Yeah, and that goes back to your thing earlier. I'm sure T-Mac's frustrated. He hasn't scored in 3 games.
Yeah, I'm sure.
By the way, that ends this week when Noah realizes that Patterson and T-Mac can score touchdowns.
Oh, not just Patterson.
What if Montana scores a touchdown too? I think Noah has 4 passing touchdowns on Saturday.
I'm going 4 passing touchdowns as well. But you know what we need to have? And this would just be so I can give the middle finger to everybody out here, like Joseph, even though I greatly like Joseph. We were on the postgame show, and we're talking about a 3 touchdown performance from Jeremiah Patterson, and they're saying that he looks like Steve Smith Sr. We will take all of the credit. And
I don't go on your show for home games, right?
Right. I
will make it from the media room. I will come on the show if Jeremiah Patterson has 3 touchdowns.
Oh, by the way, Palmer Hoffman says this is another great point. 2 interceptions when trying to throw to T-Mac, 0 when trying to throw to Patterson. Have we thought about that?
We haven't thought about that. And on a serious note, Mike,
this is all serious.
That Patterson play was what Fish ran with Cowing, and it works every time. The touchdown. Yes. Mm-hmm. You go in motion. The DB follows you. You're faster than the DB. It works every single time.
And you're wide open by like 4 yards.
Yeah, and it's going to work again. I would just run on the red zone all the time. Jeremiah Patterson, how many games are left in the season? 8.
8
more touchdowns the way I see it.
With double figures.
Can you imagine his final line is like
9
catches, 10 touchdowns for 60 yards?
We willed it. Okay, now we got to talk about we got to talk a little bit about the linebackers then, because I think a lot of people were concerned about the linebackers playing a ton. I had somebody tell me this, and he said, "Listen, man," he said, "our linebackers are really, really good, but if we don't have D linemen that are essentially keeping guards and tackles off of them, you're going to wear down." You saw Jacob Manu play his best game of the season. You saw Tay Brown also play his best game of the season. All of this really, to me, comes down to the D line being able to force or to being able to hold it and be able to get upfield, and it changes everything.
Well, look, I mean, Jacob Manu, someone told me that I believe, and I like the comparison. He's not like Ray Lewis, right? He's not.
I was the one that told you this.
Right. Well, I didn't want to give you credit.
Chick-fil-A
I didn't know,
told you this.
right? He's not LeVar Arrington, right? Where he's just all over the field. And so he needs the defensive line to eat up some blocks, right?
Right.
And when the defensive line eat up some blocks like they did against Utah, he is magnificent.
Right.
He really is. And if the defensive line isn't eating up some blocks and he's that left out there, he's a little smaller, he's going to struggle. So he's going to, as long as the D-line plays well, his numbers and just his play is going to be awesome. But if it doesn't, those are the games where you're like, ooh, a little rough for Jacob.
Well, and Ben White made a really good point before the post-game show, and he was talking with us about how Ben was talking about how it's also important to be able to eat up the tight ends. And I think that is a huge part about it, is that you've got to be able to do that. And he was right. Like I said, we joke about Ben, but he was right. And we're going to continue to give him credit on that. Eating up the tight ends was a massive part about that. And that's just kind of the way it is. Now,
I'm just feeling because you're right.
Right.
Ben's right.
Yeah, not me. Rick Trimmer, the great Rick Trimmer says, just like Noah throwing F a middle pass. Let's talk about Noah not using the middle of the field.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's a concern. And
Yes.
I'll ask Dino Babers when he meets here in the media in a bit. I don't understand that at all, but Dino Babers is indeed the coach we're getting today. There is an issue with Noah not seeing the middle of the field.
Yeah. But I also don't chalk it up to height. I keep seeing people say that, because guess what? That would have been a problem last year.
It's not height. I think this is the reasoning is real simple to me. I think he just locks onto T-Mac too much.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
T-Mac is his first and second read, and by the time he's seeing the middle of the field, it's too late, similar to the interception at Kansas State. And then the play where he didn't see Burnett in the middle field was because he locked onto T-Mac way too much.
Yeah, now that's why we need to have him lock on to Jeremiah Patterson instead, and then maybe things become a little bit easier. Now the defensive backs, though, we got to talk about Carnley here. You're going to see a lot of I think you're going to see a lot of him going forward, because first of all, he's good. He's ready to play right now. He's good. He's big. He's physical, and he's also going to. I think he's also going to be somebody that's going to be a stalwart of that defensive backfield next year. I think you're probably looking at your starting corners next year being Emmanuel Carnley and Marquise Groves-Killebrew.
You assume that Groves-Killebrew is, and I would too, but do you assume that he's right back in the starting spot if he's healthy?
I do. But it's going to be interesting, especially if Stukes is out for a while. Now, again, I'm still saying the Groves-Killebrew, but I'm saying with Carnley's giving you a little bit more of an option as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And like, this defensive strategy is really interesting. And I'm just assuming Stukes is out.
White guy.
Right. But I'm assuming Stukes is out this weekend. I don't know the details on him, but just based on, it's your knee, whatever, I would just assume, just to be safe, he's out this weekend. Can they play Dollar? Do you play Dollar? Can you play Dollar against Taj Brooks? Like, this game calls for Dollar, but they haven't shown it all season. So It's going to be intriguing. I don't think you do play Dollar, because I think Taj Brooks will kill you if you do. But, man, it's tough not to get Carnley on the field with Genesis and Groves-Killebrew. Like, it's going to be interesting.
The thing about it, too, is that we're also kind of at the point, too, where, and somebody was telling me this as well, and I think he's right, Genesis Smith is just too good not to be on the field. In any real situation. He's just too good not to be on the field. He's too big. He's too instinctive. He's too strong. He's too physical. He's got to be out there in some role. And so your question about the Dollar is really well put. Now, I think if you can obviously, if you can contain Taj Brooks, then I think that you feel a little bit better about it. But that's the problem, though. People forget, man, Taj Brooks rushed for almost 1,700 yards last year. You know what's weird about Taj Brooks is that, like, when everybody talks about the great running backs in the country, he's generally not brought up, and he's right at the very top of that list, Skier.
I had him on my list of Big 12 running. I mean, the dude ran for 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
In his career, Mike, he has 700 carries. Like,
yeah. I mean,
he's going to end his career with over 4,000 rushing yards and 40 touchdowns. Like, he's a freak.
I mean, he's really, really good. Now, Rick Trimmer said Stukes looks gone for a while. I don't know.
But I just assume that he's not going to play this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Now MGK, I think MGK. You want MGK on the outside. He's a boundary corner. That's what he does.
And you don't want him. You don't want him learning anything new.
Right. Exactly.
And I Carnley has played a little nickel in camp. I'm cool with that a little bit, but I don't want MGK there.
All right, now. What does Arizona? This is going to be my next point. What does Arizona then need to do to be able to keep what is the line? We talked about it for the offense. I need to be in the high 30s, 35 up. What is the line then for the defense? I am going to say 28.
Yeah. I think if you hold Texas Tech, I mean, when you look at their numbers this season, Mike, I think the offense has had one bad game, which was so 52, 66, 30, and 44.
Right.
They had 16 at Washington State. Now, I'll also say this, Mike. Their 16-point performance is their only road game. So, yeah, 4 of their 5 games have been at home. So maybe this offense is just different on the road. Like we don't know yet. We're gonna find out. But that Washington State game, that offense was just flat out bad.
Well, dude, Portland Timber,
but they didn't have Brooks. Yes,
exactly. Now, also Pacifico Light. I'm actually going to unfortunately stick up for Skier a little bit. Skier came close to an apology yesterday. It wasn't a full-throated apology, but he said still waiting for the massive apology Skier owes Akina. The DBs are elite. Skier, do you want to just issue an apology, like a flat-out apology?
No.
All right. I tried.
No.
All right, I tried.
Come on, man. What more do you want me to say?
I don't know. I'm just saying the fans. This isn't even me at this point. This is the fan base that is on you like no other.
It's always Joseph.
Joseph.
No, it's Pacifico Light. Same guy. I mean, that's his plan.
Is it like Chief with like his 5 different accounts?
No, I pretty much apologize to Dwayne Akina.
I'm in all seriousness, I'm going to give Shearer a pass on this.
Yeah, come on.
Now, Tyler Loop.
Lou Grows the start of the week.
Dude, that guy is Tyler Loop is another one that you do not know what you have until it is gone. And Tyler Loop is that guy. Tyler Loop is absolutely fantastic. You see a guy that, anytime it's a 50-yard field goal, you're going to feel pretty good about it. And this is an NFL kicker. You know what's funny about it? All the stuff that Jed Fish, all the finagling, all of the back card dealing.
The wrong guy.
Yeah, he went for the wrong guy, dummy.
By the way, one day I'll be able to tell the Tyler Loop story that is very, very cool about how he was right away not going with Jed.
Yeah, well, I know that Ostendorf's mother was very vocal on Twitter about Jed's departure. By the way, we're all Michigan fans this week. All Michigan fans.
Yes.
Yes.
All
right.
Tyler Loop was at the radio show last night. It was fantastic.
Yeah, dude, he's the man, dude. How was Brian Jeffries, by the way? Well, that guy, that fly-by-night dude.
He was great. Wasn't drinking anything. A little disappointed.
Yeah. Did he have any Chinese food?
No, but Jonas Sabanea was eating. I didn't catch his meal. Brian doesn't eat. Brian's for all business. He shows up.
Oh, I know.
And then he leaves. He talked to a few people. He kissed a few babies, shook a few hands, autographed some breasts when he was there. You know, the normal Brian Jeffries
thing. Yeah, that's what happens. Yes. All right. Now, Rick Barron says, I'm in 40 minutes. That's no problem, Rick Barron. It's better late than never. All right. Now, so we will have the routing guide coming up. We have decided, do we have the routing guide ready yet? We do not have the routing guide ready yet.
We have something better.
We will have that later in the week. We are adding Utah to the routing guide, though. This has been decided. Now we have our sideline press conference reporter, Erika L. Day, has joined the chat. Hello, Erika L. Day.
What up, squad? I can't believe Shear's actually going to stick around for this. Is so exciting.
No. I'm not going to stick around.
No, you are sticking around. That's why you're here.
It's freezing.
Yeah, you're freezing. You're freezing.
I'm going to the presser. I gotta make sure I don't miss anything from Dino Babers.
Yes, no, exactly. Now, we need to talk a little bit about Leif Magnuson here. We need to give Leif a shout out. Now, Erika L. Day is a massive fan of Leif Magnuson, as we all are. He's a really good football player. He's also a really good kid. He comes from a really good family. I think at some point it'll come out. But when I tell you that this is nothing, that the coaching staff has been good to him and he's been good to the coaching staff, you need to trust me on this. This is true, you two.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Mike doesn't lie.
Yeah, no, I don't lie. I don't lie.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't
Leif
lie.
is fine with the coaching staff. The coaching staff is fine with Leif. You could probably figure out the type of injury that would keep you out multiple times. Just go with it, guys. It's a situation you have to be very careful with.
You know what this also leads us up to?
No.
This is called a tease.
Oh, before I go, that's why you wouldn't let me go yet.
Correct. All right, everybody get it in. The Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Get in the wave. Come on, even Kevin Thomas. Come on, the wave. Come on, help it out. Keep doing it. Kevin Thomas does an amazing wave, by the way. It's a very good wave. All right, everybody, come on. There's no wave comments in here. Gila River Resorts and Casinos, a fun, immersive experience. All right, now, the great thing with the Gila River Resorts and Casinos, too, is that it is all good. You might see a very successful person like a Dennis Walsh there as well when he's getting off of his private jet coming back from SRS. Maybe he's at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit play@gila.com for more details. We have been to the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Although also everybody hates my wave. I think it's
not a wave. There's barely any motion. Mike.
Yeah, you have to wave.
Like wave, dude.
It's more of a ripple.
Yeah,
that's
that's exactly what I was gonna say. We're doing the wave, not the ripple.
It's not a ripple. If you want me to do a ripple, we'll just go like this.
Yeah, no, I do the ripple, you do the wave. But either way,
disrespect. It's just
Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Man, everybody says my wave sucks. I do suck at many things. That is not one of the things that I suck at. I will take no apologies. That doesn't sound good.
My dad says it's a Twitch.
The Twitch? Oh, it's a Twitch. Oh, John Day. Oh, wow, John Day. We need to talk about John Day in a second. All right, but either way, check out the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Also, Game Time. Now, you might say to yourself, who's John Day? His middle name might be Tom Day, or Tom John Day. Either way, you might say, where could I see this guy going to a baseball game? Guess what? Game Time. Check it out. What time is it? Game time. Ooh. All right, now the guys. Sheer, this is your read, not mine. I apologize.
Yes, before I go, the reason I'm saying a couple minutes late is because I need to tell you how important Game Time is. There was a man who literally couldn't get into the Alamo Bowl, and he had a bomb strapped to his chest, and he said, the only way I can go is if I get to the Alamo Bowl, and it was sold out. But then he went on to Game Time, and he was able to get tickets. And I mixed that up with the plot of Speed a little bit, but you understand the importance of Game Time.
Game Time is amazing. All right, Game Time.
Lives. That's what I'm trying to say, Mike.
Yes, Game Time is amazing. Check it out. You will thank me later. $20 off your first purchase with code PHNX. Terms apply. Again, the Gila River /wave.
Combining everything.
Yes. All right. There we go. Ted Wardo is in my lap now as well. All right.
Sometimes I get in my Sanderson Ford. I stop at Circle K. I'm on my way to Gila River, and then I put on my Shady Rays, and I'm good.
Oh, and by the way, if you're hungry, you stop by a little bit of chicken and pickle.
Yep. That's my day. That's my normal Sunday.
That is where it is at. All right, Sheer, you're dismissed. Let us know what Dino Babers says. This should be interesting.
Goodbye, everyone.
No Dumb and Dumber quotes, please.
Hopefully. All right. Erika all day. We need to talk about Dino Babers. They got rid of Dino Babers. They got Matt Adkins in. It was you and I were at the watch party. Yes. Right. And it just felt different. It didn't feel like we were about to lose by 800 points. It looked like the offense was a little bit more frisky. And yes, I was very excited by that. This is true.
Yeah, absolutely. We were all pretty excited about it. I have to say, our offense was moving the ball up the field, which is not something we saw in the last game they played.
Right. Yes, exactly. Oh, by the way, JP66, let's talk about Totri here for a minute. I like Totri. I think Totri's a good dude. But Totri massively misplayed this. Here's what you got to do. If you're wrong about something, you got to sit here and you just got to take it. That's what I do all the time. I'm wrong on almost everything. And then I just say, fine, pile on. When Totri said he doesn't care about Arizona fans, Totri,
we know that's a lie.
Totri, you do not get to sit here and complain about Arizona fans, Arizona nonstop making fun of them. Then when they beat the snot out of somebody up in Utah, say, I don't care. You don't get to do that. Erika all day, this is true.
This is true. And the thing is like, he wants to talk about how great ASU is and they've received votes, this, that, and the other. Who of worth have they beat?
Nobody.
I'm sorry, the team that lost to Boise?
Yeah.
Am I right there? Right.
Yeah. Also,
So
they beat Mississippi State, who stinks. They beat Wyoming. They Texas Tech is the first team with a and then that's the other thing. They're sitting on, they're like, oh, well, we beat Texas State. Nobody even knew that Texas State existed like until 2 years ago. Had you ever heard of Texas State 2 years ago, Erika Alday, when you were finishing up your master's?
of course I had not. I didn't hear of them until you told me about them.
Yeah, nobody had. Yes, and Texas State, Fort Mike, by the way, great name. Fort Mike 24. Texas State just lost to Bowling Green. We do not give you any credit, Arizona State.
None at all. Right. And the other thing that Totri said that really bothered me is like, this is a coach that hasn't proved himself on a big stage. Okay. And Dillingham has like on a big stage. I'm sorry. Again, who exactly have they beat on a big stage that proved Kenny Dillingham's worth? And you guys know this is a Dilly Stan show on the AZ Wildcats podcast. We love Dilly. We want him here for as long as possible. That being said, though, I don't see the correlation between beating someone on a big stage because Brent Brennan.
Yeah. Beating Utah is better than beating Texas State.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Now, also, Kevin Thomas, I already had this in my show notes, by the way, but we also need to give the lovely Erika Alday a shout out. What did you have anything going on yesterday?
I surely did. If you guys are missing the WNBA playoffs, don't you worry, because the PHNX Mercury podcast has you covered. You can hop over. We had an episode last night. We went in depth on the 2 games that game 2 will play out tonight, this evening, 4:30 and 6:30. You can head over to PHNX Sports, go to the PHNX Mercury podcast page, and find me yapping at you for over an hour about how awesome these matchups are, and maybe even some expansion talk as well. Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, now let's talk about this for a second. Caitlin Clark, the big thing this offseason for the Merc is getting Caitlin Clark to the Merc. How do we make this happen? Can we give up the entire team to get Caitlin Clark?
No, and in fact, it's actually not going to happen at all, ever, probably.
You were reporting that it was likely to happen at the end of the season.
Our good friend David Veenstra in the chat does have some theories about Caitlin coming to the Valley, but I personally do believe that is delusional and that she will be an Indiana Fever for the rest of her career.
Interesting. All right. Well,
Why would she want to leave Indiana? Hold on. Before we go any further, I want to comment on Rick Trimmer's comment here because it says even less ASU talk. Okay, listen. They talked about U of A for 12 minutes on the show yesterday. I think we can take 4 minutes to just talk back.
I got no problem making fun of ASU. Rick Trimmer, the great Rick Trimmer, by the way. Rick Trimmer, listen, everybody in this chat is significantly smarter than me. But there's some people that are on a much higher plateau. And Rick Trimmer is but again, I disagree with Rick Trimmer on this one. We will make fun of ASU. They make fun of us. We have a lot more to make fun of than they do. So we will do that. All right. So anyways, now let's talk a little bit about Arizona, Texas Tech. Erika Alday, I will be at this game. You will be at this game. Will you be tailgating at this game?
We certainly will. And if you guys aren't going to be there, we might, do the wave there. So you are really going to be missing out on a bunch of things. And also to address the comments, I don't hate Caitlin. Never wanted to fight her. I don't know where these comments are coming from.
Yeah, but
I just don't think she's going to be in the Valley.
But you're an Angel Rogers fan or whatever her name is. Who is it?
Reese.
Oh, Angel Reese. Angel, what did I say?
Rogers. Who is that?
You're an Angel Rogers fan. You're an Angel Reese fan, though. You are. This is true.
This is true. I'm a fan of both of them. Is that okay?
Yeah, but you like her more than her because every time, here's what happened, Angel Rogers. Here's what happened. Walk. Here's what happens. Sheer and I have a group chat going with Erika Alday, and every time we would send something about Caitlin Clark, she would always send something back about Angel Reese. This is true.
This is true, but I just have to defend myself and the league that I so proudly love so much.
Yeah, all right. Now, Bear Down Cats 96 says Erika wants all the smoke. She wants all the smoke and more. We will give it to her, but again, she is not doing the thing Totri did. Now, again, you guys need to go check out Totri at, what time's Totri's show? 1:30?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Maybe it is 1:30. I
All
think
right.
it's 2.
Now be nice to him, but again, remind Totri when you're in there that you were talking.
We bear down and we back the A.
Yes.
Always lead with love, but back the A.
Yes, Len Altieri, another great name. Rick Trimmer's name sounds like a NASCAR driver's name. That is so true. That is so true. That, like, when I think of like the NASCAR pantheons, I think of Dale Earnhardt. I think of like Michael Schumacher, if that was the guy, and there Mario Andretti, and then Rick Trimmer. I mean, that is absolutely that's a great point. I would kill to have the name Rick Trimmer. That's a fantastic name. All right, now. Beast Life says Dorman should be starting. No. All right. Texas Tech, though, Erika Alday, we need a big victory in this game. I know that your father is a huge Dino Babers fan. I know that it's been difficult for him during this time to see a new OC. But again, I am excited because, again, I don't think we know what Arizona's upside is now. That's where we're at.
You know what my dad said when Dino Babers got hired?
Huh.
When was the last time you ever heard Syracuse and football in the same sentence as anything good?
Jim Brown.
And was Dino still there?
Oh, speaking of which, yes. Oh, Zona Germany. We're going to have a ton of basketball talk on Friday. You have my word, Erika. You need to teach Mike how to make a viral tweet. I don't want. I'm not good at that. Yes, JP66. Babers is there, but Babers is not calling plays, and that's all I really care about is that he's not calling plays. This is Matt Adkins that is calling plays. Also, I need to talk about this new generation of children. There was something that was very disturbing at Bourbon Bend. By the way, you should all go to Bourbon Bend for the Erika Alday, Kobe L. Thiel, and Erika Alday's friend. I'm sure it was a middle name with an L as well. We did not know who Joe Pesci was. I said the name Joe Pesci, and not one of them knew who Joe Pesci was.
I want to defend myself, though, because I just am not good with actors' names. And I'm sorry, but I've seen The Sopranos, and it's one of my favorite shows, and so I don't feel like it's fair. Exactly, Rick Barrett's. Who is that? No one knows. No one knows anyone's name anymore.
He is kidding.
I don't think so.
Joe Pesci is one of the most famous actors ever.
Yeah, and now Billy's going to tell me to watch Braveheart. Great. We're back to the Braveheart jokes. This is excellent, excellent. And now I have to go to jail all because I didn't know this guy's name. This just seems, I want to say, yesterday you talked about my driving on the show. That felt like a hate crime. This, though, this is getting it's personal of you, Mike. It's personal.
Kevin Thomas is younger than you, the prodigious Kevin Thomas. And I guarantee you, Kevin Thomas has heard of Joe Pesci.
I have heard of Joe Pesci, but if you told me to be like, oh, like I can't pick him out of a lineup is my point. I know who he is, but I can't pick him out of a lineup at all.
I mean, I'd heard the name, but like, I'm not going to lie and be like, oh yeah, I know exactly who that is. But as soon as I saw the picture, I was like, oh, he's in The Sopranos.
Oh, by the way, Del Taco Tommy with the line of the day. He says, kids these days, they know who Lil Dip is, but they don't know who's Lil Dip. Is that an actual rapper, Lil Dip?
I think that he means just type rappers.
Yes.
Like type people. So I don't think that that's a real person. I could be wrong.
We
do have Lil Durk, so.
Yeah, either way, Erika Alday, have you heard of Denzel Washington?
I mean, yeah.
Have you heard of Kevin Costner?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. All right. Anyways, let's wrap this show up. Erika Alday, we're looking for when is the next Mercury or not Mercury? I guess the season's over, right?
Don't get too excited though. They haven't seen the last of me. We're still live next Monday at 6 p.m. For the PHNX Mercury podcast. So be there, be square. Also, I know this weekend is a home game. So the best we can do is tailgate. That being said, though, if you do see us and you don't say hi, I'm going to be pretty bothered by this. And at the next watch party, if all of you people in the comments are not there, I will personally be calling all of you squares. We had way too much fun for you to be missing out on this monumentous watch party in Tucson.
And you get to hear me scream literally every 3 seconds. What?
No, I'm going to be honest. Mike and I, we talked about it and how, we just wanted this year to be a lot more fun with the watch parties. We delivered in every aspect of fun. And with the help of NUTRL, I mean, I don't know how it could have gotten any better. I'll be honest.
It doesn't get any better. You know what? Also, she doesn't know Kevin Costner is. I know, Rick Trimmer. It's terrible. All right, now we will be back with you tomorrow. Spears and Ali, those guys, what have they ever done? But also though, before we sign off, no better time to become a PHNX diehard. Also, the wave, the trick, the Ripple diehard membership card, free T-shirts of your choice from the locker, access to all our premium written content, entrance to the Discord lounge, discounts on all events. Okay, now Erika L. Day, where can they find you doing all of your work?
You can hit me up on Twitter at Erika Lee Day, and that's Erika with a K. Please.
It's Erika L. Day, isn't it?
No, it's Erika Lee Day. L-E-A.
All right. Or follow John Day at John L. Day on Twitter.
All right.
Yes. But I'm merely Mike Luke. Again, this was very, very good. Also, you need to watch Dances with Wolves. Is that, everybody out there real quick, is that Kevin Costner's most famous movie, Dances with Wolves? It's very, very good. I would recommend it very, very much.
How about you guys just all tweet me all the movies that I need to go watch, and I'll begin the list.
Yes, we are. Yeah, but you do need to watch Dances with Wolves. We will do that. All right. But for the lovely Erika L. Day, for the prodigious Kevin, Waterworld sucks. Waterworld was one of the ones that Waterworld was one of the ones where they wasted like $900 million on it. I think it was like the biggest production ever, and like the only people that went were like my grandparents. It sucked. It was terrible. No good. Yellowstone is just too boring for me. No thanks. All right. On that note, though, for the lovely Erika L. Day, for the prodigious Kevin Thomas, June Thomas in there. Hey, everybody, also make sure to hit the like button, because again, we need to do better on that. I need to do better on that. I do not want to get fired for not getting enough likes on these shows. So please help me out. Please help me out. On that note, though, we will talk with you tomorrow. TTFN, back the A, ta-ta for now. You have been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.